Alright, so in today's video, I'm going back to the greatest NHL video game of all time, NHL 17. I'm just joking, this game was very mid, let's be honest. So we've gone back to NHL 17 to win Connor McDavid a Stanley Cup. In real life, this was a season that Connor McDavid actually exploded. I believe he won the Art Ross, the Ted Lindsay, and the Hart this year. He had his first 100-point season. He was 19 years old, turning 20. But instead of having that version of Connor McDavid here, we have plotted in NHL 23's Connor McDavid, which is a 97 overall absolute demigod, and he's surrounded by not the greatest talent. I mean, we do have Draisaitl and Eberle in 86 and 85. Milan Lucic. Lucic is literally our second highest player on this team. That is insane. But this roster overall is not the greatest. We do have some depth, but after every season that we do not win the Stanley Cup, we are going to spin the wheel and see what we get, good or bad, and we are going to either add that or subtract that from the Edmonton Oilers until we finally win Connor McDavid a Stanley Cup. I mean, our decor is all above 80 overall, and our starting goalie, of course, is Cam Talbot at an 86, which is not the worst, to be honest. We can work with that, but overall, the plan is to surround Connor McDavid with all-star talent so he can go on and win a Stanley Cup. So at the end of year number 1, the Edmonton Oilers are not going to make the playoffs as they finish 4th in the Pacific, going 37, 33, and 12. The Ottawa Senators are actually going to end up finishing 1st in the NHL, going 53, 21, and 8, followed by the Montreal Canadiens, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Washington Capitals, the New York Rangers. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Calgary Flames. Finally, Colorado is not going to be the greatest team of all time in the simulation. The Edmonton Oilers, we would actually end up finishing 20th in the entire NHL, so Connor McDavid is going to finish the season with 36 goals and 99 points, followed by Jordan Eberle, 68, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had 60, Lucic, 55, Draisaitl, 45, Pat Maroon was up there with 41, and then it kind of trails off from there. Connor McDavid is going to have the most points in the NHL at 99, followed by Stammers, 95, Oliver Ekman-Larsson had 89, John Tavares, 88, Carlson, 86, Ryan Getzlaf, 84, Corey Perry, 84, Jamie Benn, 80, Nikita Kucherov had 80, Patrick Kane, 80, Goodrow, 90, what am I saying? Goodrow, 79. For goals, Steven Stamkos is going to have the most at 51, followed by Tyler Seguin's 48, Vladimir Tarasenko at 46, Alex Ovechkin had 44, John Tavares had 44, Zach Parise had 41, Corey Perry 40. For defenseman, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is going to have the most points in the NHL at 89 points. I mean, this dude was a 90 overall. What on earth happened to him? Followed by Erik Karlsson's 86, also 20 goals. Shea Weber was up there with 72, Ryan Suter, Duncan Keith, Brent Burns, PK Subban. Carey Price is going to have the most wins in the entire NHL with 46, followed by Craig Anderson's 45, Braden Holtby, 39, and Bishop was out there, Martin Jones, Henrik Lundqvist, Roberto Luongo. God damn, Carey Price had a 197 goals against average playing 74 games. Yeah, this was the prime of Carey Price's career. I believe the year before is when he won the Hart Trophy. No, it was 2014, 2015. He had a 196 goals against average. Where the hell is the save percentage? Oh, a 933 save percentage, 9 shutouts. I mean, he won 44 games. This dude was off the charts this season. And in year number 1, the Florida Panthers are going to go on and win the Stanley Cup as they beat the St. Louis Blues in 5 games in the Stanley Cup final. I gotta be honest, I have no idea how Florida won it, but whatever, it is what it is. For the playoffs, Jaden Schwartz is going to have the most points at 22, followed by Jonathan Huberdeau's 21. Paul Stastny had 20, Jaromir Jagr had 20, Alexander Barkov, Phil Kessel, Nail Yakupov had 18 points in 23 games. Yeah, that would never happen in real life. Steven Stamkos is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, and the Hart Trophy, while Connor McDavid is going to win the Art Ross. Erik Karlsson is going to take home the Norris. Austin Matthews is going to win the Calder. The Conn Smythe is going to go to Roberto Luongo. Bobby Lou finally gets his Stanley Cup. The Vezina, obviously, to Carey Price. And Anze Kopitar is going to take home the Selke. Alright, here we go. Spin the wheel. See what we get. The very first spin of the video in NHL 17. Who are we going to get? And we got a very good one here as we are going to be adding the highest overall goalie in the entire NHL. So we have gone ahead and added Carey Price at a 95 overall to the Edmonton Oilers. He is the best goalie in NHL 17, and he is definitely 100% going to help our simulation out a lot. I mean, a 95 starting goalie and an 86 backup is a very good tandem to have. So at the end of year number 2, the Edmonton Oilers are actually going to make the playoffs, finishing 3rd in the Pacific, going 48, 28, and 6. 56. The San Jose Sharks are actually going to end up finishing first in the entire NHL, going 53, 24, and 5, followed by the LA Kings, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the New Jersey Devils, and the Florida Panthers. The Edmonton Oilers would end up finishing 6th in the entire NHL. Connor McDavid is going to lead our team in points with 105, also 34 goals, followed by Jordan Eberle, 63 and 30 goals. Leon Draisaitl had 63, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 54, Lucic had 53, Maroon, 43, Pouliot. Carey Price would end up going 41, 25, and 3. He had a 2.37 GAA. His save percentage was a 924, and he would finish the season with 5 shutouts, so a very good year from Carey Price. He definitely helped our simulation out. For the entire NHL, yet again, Connor McDavid is going to have the most points, followed by Steven Stamkos, who had 102. Tyler Seguin had 93, Johnny T, 89, Kucherov, 85, Carlson, 83. Claude Giroux was up there, Vladimir Tarasenko, Max Pacioretty had 80, Sidney Crosby, 79, Jamie Benn, 79, Radulov, Alexander Radulov would have 77. Does anybody remember this guy? He came back to the NHL for like 4 seasons and then dipped to the KHL yet again. For goals, John Tavares is going to have the most at 54, followed by Steven Stamkos' 46, Vladimir Tarasenko, 45, Alex Ovechkin had 44, Claude Giroux, 42, Max Pacioretty, 41, Jack Eichel would have 40, Tyler Seguin was up there, Brendan Gallagher had 36, Jeff Carter, 34, McDavid was obviously up there. For defenseman, Erik Karlsson would obviously have the most points at 83. It was not even close. The next closest was Brent Burns with 66. For wins, Martin Jones is going to have the most at 45, followed by Jonathan Quick's 43. Corey Schneider had 43. Carey Price had 41. Craig Anderson, 39. And the Edmonton Oilers are going to play the LA Kings in round number 1. And Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to go on and win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Connor McDavid would actually have a very good playoff run, 7 goals, 7 assists for 14 points in 14 games. For the entire playoff run, Showtime, Patty Kane is going to have the most goals at 20 and the most points at 35, followed by Breadman's 28, Vladimir Tarasenko 22, Duncan Keith had 20, Chris Letang 20, Al Stastny had 19, Jonathan Toews 19. Man, if only we could have got a Chicago-Pittsburgh Stanley Cup final back then. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Johnny T is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Erik Karlsson is yet again going to win the Norris, the Lady Byng to McDavid, the Calder Trophy to Mitch Marner. Matt Murray is actually going to take home the Conn Smythe. Right, this is when everybody thought Matt Murray was going to be an all-time goalie. Lundqvist is going to win the Vezina, and the Selke is going to go to Mikko Koivu. Okay. Finally, we got a very good one here as we are going to steal a team's best player, any team of my choosing in the entire NHL. So I have gone ahead and added the Washington Capitals' best player, Alex Ovechkin, at a 94 overall. He's 31 years old, still in the prime of his career, and he's going to play on that first line with Connor McDavid and Jordan Eberle. That is a lethal top line. We have the sniper playmaker combo that is going to help us out a lot. So after adding Ovi, we are going to end up finishing first in the Pacific, going 55, 21, and 6. Pittsburgh would end up finishing first in the entire NHL, going 55, 20, and 7. 1 more point than us, followed by the Edmonton Oilers, the LA Kings, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. At the bottom of the NHL, we still have the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Anaheim Ducks, and the Buffalo Sabres. Connor McDavid is going to absolutely explode this season, 47 goals and 147 points, followed by Alex Ovechkin's 85 and 44 goals. Jordan Eberle had 61, Leon Draisaitl 59, Nugent-Hopkins had 53, Milan Lucic 47, Sekera had 33. Carey Price would have a great season, winning 46 games and having a 1.93 goals against average. He would also have a 935 save percentage and 8 shutouts on the season. Connor McDavid would obviously lead the entire NHL in points, followed by Patrick Kane, who had 105. Steven Stamkos had 90. Phil Kessel was up there with 88. Vladimir Tarasenko 86. Crosby 86. Toews 85. Ovi had 85. Kopitar was up there. Jonathan Huberdeau, John Tavares, Henrik Zetterberg was up there with 83 points and 35 goals. For goals, Patty Kane is going to have the most at 57, followed by Tarasenko's 48, McDavid 47, Stammer had 44, Ovi 44, Johnny T had 42, Daniel Sedin would have 39, Bruce Jenner 39, Zach Parise 38, Evgeny Malkin 38. Pekka Rinne is actually going to have the most shutouts in the entire NHL with 10, followed by Matt Murray's 9, Jonathan Quick 8, Devin Dubnyk and Carey Price would have 8, Craig Anderson 7, Cam Ward 7, and it looks like we have the Battle of Alberta in round number 1 between Edmonton and Calgary. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, the Oilers are going to end up losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champion LA Kings in the second round, as LA is going to go on and beat the New York Rangers in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Connor McDavid is going to have 3 goals and 25 points in 14 games. Alex Ovechkin would have 7 and 8 for 15 points. Jordan Eberle was up there. Leon Draisaitl. For the entire NHL, Anze Kopitar is going to have the most points in the playoffs with 29, followed by McDavid's 25. Marian Gaborik had 24. Tyler Toffoli 21. Jeff Carter 20, and Matt Zuccarello 20. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy yet again, while Patrick Kane is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Drew Doughty is going to win the Norris. The Conn Smythe is going to go to Anze Kopitar. Carey Price is yet again going to take home the Vezina, and the Selke is going to go to Adam Henrique. And it looks like we are going to be upgrading our starting goalie to a 99 overall, which is Carey Price. So there you go. We have upgraded our starting goalie, which is Carey Price, to a 99 overall, as if he wasn't OP enough in this game already. The Edmonton Oilers are yet again going to have a great regular season, finishing first in the Pacific, going 52, 24, and 6. And we would end up finishing second in the entire NHL, only behind the Florida Panthers, who yet again had 1 more point than us. Back-to-back years, the President's Trophy winner is only going to finish above us with 1 point, followed by the St. Louis Blues, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Nashville Predators, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Ottawa Senators. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Arizona Coyotes, the Dallas Stars, and the Carolina Hurricanes. Connor McDavid yet again is going to go absolutely insane, 42 goals and 131 points, followed by Alex Ovechkin's 92 and 52 goals. Jordan Eberle had 66, Lucic 51, Draisaitl only had 24 goals and 48 points. Nugent Hopkins 46, and Pat Maroon 39, only 9 goals. Carey Price is going to go 46, 20, and 5 with a 216 goals against average, also a 928 save percentage. For the entire NHL, Connor McDavid is going to have the most points at 131, followed by Vladimir Tarasenko, who had 102, Alex Ovechkin 92, Patrick Kane had 88, Paul Stastny 86, Johnny T 85, Anze Kopitar 85, Taylor Hall would have 81, Erik Karlsson 80, Stammer 80, Joe Pavelski, Adam Henrique was up there, Gustav Nyquist. For goals, Tarasenko would have the most at 57, followed by Ovi's 52, Tavares 50, McDavid 42, Taylor Hall, Max Pacioretty would each have 41 apiece, Patrick Kane 40, Stammer 39, and the Edmonton Oilers are going to play the San Jose Sharks in round number 1. Yet again, we would end up losing to the LA Kings, this time in 5 games in the second round, and the Florida Panthers are going to go on and win another Stanley Cup in this video as they beat the LA Kings in 5 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Connor McDavid would have 3 goals and 14 points in 12 games. Jaromir Jagr at age 45 is going to lead the entire playoffs, not only in goals with 13, but points with 26. I mean, this dude is an absolute legend. Followed by Alexander Barkov's 23, Nick Bjugstad 22, Tyler Toffoli 19, Anze Kopitar 18, UC Jokinen 18. Yet again, Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Vladimir Tarasenko is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Erik Karlsson with another Norris. Jaromir Jagr is going to take home the Conn Smythe at age 45. That is absolutely insane. Carey Price with another Vezina win. And Mikko Koivu is going to take home the Selke yet again. And we are going to be able to add a 90 or lower overall player, any of my choosing. So since we desperately needed a defenseman, I've decided to add a young Roman Josi, who's a 90 overall, to the Edmonton Oilers. Since we desperately needed a number 1 D-man, Roman Josi is that guy. He's only 26 years old, hitting the prime of his career. He's a 90 overall, 2-way defender, very good stats across the board. The Oilers are going to have their best regular season yet, going 62, 15, and 5, which was good enough for the best in the entire NHL. With 129 points, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the New York Rangers. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Arizona Coyotes, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Anaheim Ducks. Connor McDavid is going to have 39 goals and 124 points, followed by Alex Ovechkin's 93 and 54 goals. Jordan Eberle would have 75 points and 25 goals. Roman Josi will put up a respectable 65 points. Leon Draisaitl 53, Nuge 47, Patrick Maroon would have 43, 33, Milan Lucic 38, Henriks 27. Carey Price is going to go 51, 13, and 1, having a 228 goals against average, a 924 save percentage. For the entire NHL, yet again, McDavid is going to have the most points, this time at 124, followed by Steven Stamkos, who had 103, Patrick Kane 96, Ovi 93, Jaromir Jagr had 93 and 45 goals. Tyler Seguin would have 92 points, Jacob Voracek had 90, Breadman 87, Barkov 87, Sidney Crosby 86. For goals, Ovi is going to have the most at 54, followed by Stammers 53, Patrick Kane 52, Tyler Seguin 46, Jaromir Jagr had 45, Tarasenko 43, Voracek 40, McDavid 39, Sedin 37, James Neal was up there, Johnny Hockey, Evgeny Malkin, Claude Giroux. Obviously, Carey Price would have the most wins at 51, followed by Devin Dubnyk 44, Corey Crawford 41, Lundqvist at 39, Quick 39, Luongo 37, and the Edmonton Oilers are yet again going to play the San Jose Sharks in round number 1. And finally, the Edmonton Oilers have made the Stanley Cup Finals, and we are up against Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. We have a Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby Stanley Cup Final matchup that is going to be insane. Can we finally go on and win the Stanley Cup in year number 5? And the Edmonton Oilers have gone on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Final. It has only taken Connor McDavid 5 years to capture the Stanley Cup. Actually 6 years, because his rookie season was last year. So there it is, Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid shaking hands, a passing of the torch. And Connor McDavid is going to take home the Conn Smythe for the Edmonton Oilers. He's an absolute beauty. And there it is, boys, the Stanley Cup. Oh my god, this celebration is so much different. The atmosphere is different. Here he is, Connor McDavid, coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the very first time in his career. It has only taken him 6 long years in the NHL, but he is finally a Stanley Cup champion, as we have used the wheel to rebuild the Edmonton Oilers. Andrej Sekera is lifting the Stanley Cup before Alex Ovechkin. What is going on here? There he is, Ovi, baby, the grade 8. Connor McDavid's a line mate. There's Carey Price as well. There you go, boys. We have used the wheel to rebuild the Edmonton Oilers. It would take us 5 years to get here, but the Edmonton Oilers are finally Stanley Cup champions. For the playoffs, Connor McDavid would have 8 goals and 30 points, leading the entire NHL, followed by Leon Draisaitl, who had 23, Alex Ovechkin 21 and 16 goals. Evgeny Malkin was up there, Crosby had 18, Jordan Eberle 17, Hornqvist 17, Phil Kessel 16. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Alex Ovechkin is going to win the Maurice Richard. Drew Doughty is yet again going to take home the Norris, the Conn Smythe, obviously to McDavid. Devin Dubnyk is going to take home the Vezina, and Hansel is going to take home the Selke Trophy. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Let me know what I should add to the wheel. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.